We all have masculine and feminine energy within us. In order to balance our masculine and feminine energy, it is helpful to spend some time cultivating our feminine energy. It's no secret that most of our lives are spent in our masculine energy, focused on productivity, logic, actions, and results. That's why I've recently spent a lot of time awakening the divine feminine energy in my own yoga practice and bringing those qualities into my teachings more and more. When we take time to cultivate our divine feminine energy, we bring the masculine and feminine energies into union, and this gives our action and productivity inspiration. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ways to awaken the sacred feminine with yoga. So number 1 is body wisdom. Your body is your most accurate barometer for truth and wisdom, and a beautiful way to connect with your divine feminine. Your body will always speak to you when something's off in your mental or emotional or energetic or physical or spiritual bodies. First in whispers, and if we listen and take an appropriate action, then we'll develop trust with our body. The more we pay attention to our body's message, the deeper the bond will become between your true divine feminine consciousness. Many of us are on a healing journey in this lifetime, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. The depth to which we care compassionately for our bodies is the measuring stick for our success on this journey. The quieter and more receptive styles of yoga, such as yin yoga, restorative yoga, and yoga nidra, are beautiful practices for connecting with our body's wisdom and for building a loving, non-competitive, accepting, compassionate, present relationship with our body and our divine feminine. Through yoga and the more receptive styles of yoga in particular, we're opening to our divine feminine energy, allowing ourselves to connect with our inner knowing, listening to that inner voice so we can deeply nourish our physical, mental, emotional, energetic, and spiritual bodies. Number 2, emotions. Part of cultivating our divine feminine energy is connecting fully with our feelings. Our bodies tend to hold tension when we don't fully allow our emotions to be expressed. And we connect with, fully feel, and allow our emotions to be expressed without judgment, those blockages in our physical, emotional, energetic, and mental bodies can be freed. And this allows us to connect more fully with our divine feminine energy. And I know many of you are skilled at expressing your emotions, and I would love to hear the tools and techniques you have for doing so in the comments. So take a moment right now. Thank you for pressing the like button, for subscribing, for more videos like this, and share with me how you give your emotions an outlet, because I know this is something that I find particularly challenging. My emotions often get stuck in my body, and I'd love to hear the tools you use to keep them flowing. So some things that I have found helpful for expressing my emotions and for connecting with my divine feminine in that way are writing in a journal, speaking to close friends, going to a therapist, having a trusting container. This is all very helpful for me. And I find it extra supportive to have my feelings witnessed with kindness and without judgment, whether by a friend or a therapist. One thing I've tried recently is to speak into my front-facing camera. This is a form of self-witnessing my emotions. It's very powerful, and I can always delete the video immediately afterwards. Allowing your emotions to flow will connect you with a source of deep trust with your divine feminine energy. And when we practice yoga, we naturally open to our emotional body, and the stuck emotions, the issues that are stuck in the tissues, are allowed to naturally dissolve and move freely. So number 3 is being and receiving. Yoga gives our divine feminine a space to let go of the doing and accomplishing part of our life and focus on just being. Things like resting into the ground, allowing the earth to support us, letting our focus to be on receiving the pose rather than doing the pose, opening to being in a yoga practice rather than doing a yoga practice in a goal-centered way, all invites us into the divine feminine. Number 4, intuition. One of the key ways to cultivate your divine feminine is to connect with your intuition. For me, this has been developing a trusting relationship with my intuition. That means when my intuition speaks to me, to acknowledge it, to respond to it in a loving, caring way. What I notice is that I'm often quick to override my intuition with logic. Oftentimes that still quiet voice within will speak to me with a knowing, or my body will light up with a pulsing that feels like my cells are vibrating and my hairs are on end. And I know I need to listen to these cues because they're important messages being sent from my divine feminine. There's often no rationale or explanation or logic to these messages. So honoring, trusting, and acting on those intuitive messages is a big part of building a bond with and cultivating sacred feminine energy. Our yoga mat can be a beautiful place to build that intuitive bond. When we come to our mat, we can do simple things like choose an appropriate edge in our pose, or how long we're going to practice for, or choose what we're going to practice. All of these things are listening to our intuition. Number 5, creativity. The sacred feminine energy is connected with creativity. It arises out of the womb space, which is the ultimate creative center and responsible for creating life. This is the wellspring of creativity. All of nature is continually creating, although it's most evident in the spring when everything comes to life again. There are loads of ways that we can cultivate our divine feminine energy by making something and doing it creatively. We can make our bed beautifully, like a throne in the morning. We can choose our clothes and dress beautifully. I heard a podcast recently on Sounds True on magic in everyday life, where a woman spoke about wearing makeup and putting on eyeshadow, allowing her to see things with beauty, and putting on beautiful lipstick, allowing her to be intentional about how she speaks through the day. So this was creative inspiration. We can be creative about our yoga practice, trying new things, cooking, playing with our children, meditation, dancing, painting, writing, drawing. The opportunities are endless. So if you like this video, you're probably going to like my video, 60 Minutes Yin Yoga to Cultivate the Divine Feminine. In it, I take you through these teachings in real time in a Yin Yoga class. I'll have it linked on the end screen and down below.